Hey out there admins, how we doing? I will try to keep this video as short as possible, but there's a few things we gotta go over that we don't seem to be getting quite right now. First thing is one, Moose and women. There have been many communications from Moose International. There's been videos and multiple emails from me that I don't understand why we're not quite getting this right. So as of May 1st, if a woman comes into the lodge, she now has to join the lodge, same as a man would. And again, I'm going to compare this to the Moose Legion. It's very much like the Moose Legion. So when a woman comes in, she has to join the lodge. She does not have to join the chapter now. Chapters seem to be getting this wrong, and we need to educate them. And I don't talk to chapters very often, but I need you guys to know what's happening. So when a woman comes in and fills out an application, that application is going to the office. I'm not going to say the men's office anymore. It's the lodge office, and that's your office. And they will be paying the same dues as the men used to. Whatever your lodge charges, that's what they'll be paying. So if your lodge charges $50 last year for men and it stayed the same for men this year, it's going to be the same for men and women. Again, in the one lodge, everybody has to pay lodge dues. For those women that, of course, were already up to date before April 30th, get 3 years of chapter dues for free. That's the same as giving a man 3 years of Moose Legion dues for free. They're still gonna, when they expire, whenever their card says they expire, they're still gonna get a bill for the lodge dues, just like a man would. Again, just like the Moose Legion. That's what you've got to focus on. Again, I don't think it's any easier explained than comparing it to the Moose Legion. A woman joins the lodge, doesn't have to join the chapter. As far as meetings go, seems like we're having a lot of trouble with the new meetings minutes. This wasn't a suggestion. You have to have 2 officers meetings and 2 general membership meetings. Those agendas were sent out more than once by Moose International and more than once by me. You have to make sure you're going by those agendas. When it comes to the lodge general membership meeting, and a lot of people just refer to that as the lodge meeting, you've got to make sure that you're setting your room up as close to that diagram as possible. It does not have to be exact. I'm not going to get on your case about that. But there should be a head table. There should be side tables for trustees and other appointed positions, and then an area for the general membership to sit at. It needs to look semi-formal, like business is being done. We've got too many lodges where everybody sits around in a big group, and then people talk out of turn. Then we wonder why lodge general membership meetings last so long, because you got people talking when they shouldn't be talking, side conversations going on. Have that meeting a little more formal, and it'll go by quicker. Also, again, joint meetings with the women of the Moose chapters are not required anymore. Should it be suggested? If you get along well with your chapter and the chapter is always done well anyways, fine, you can go ahead and have it. We're not going to stop you. We're just saying it's not required anymore. With that being said, if you have decided to not have those joint meetings anymore, well, where do women bring their business up then? Well, then the chapter can bring it up in the general membership meeting at the end of the meeting at the good of the order section. I've already had people calling me on this, and it doesn't get much more simple. That's the time when they should be asking for permission to, have this fundraiser, or, they want to use the facilities for this date, or they want to do that, and come up during the good of the order. Now, if lodges have not been having proper meetings in the past, someone might come in and think, oh, the meeting's half over, they've just done the prayer, and I need to bring something up. Let them know that it's at the very end of the meeting and it's during the good of the order. Let them know in advance. Don't try to have the meeting and them not understand when it's going to be. For the first few meetings, I suggest with those agendas, definitely have all your officers a copy of them so they can kind of see what's going on. But the agenda part, give those to the members too so they can see it. It's not secret information how a meeting's ran, so let them see that. A couple other questions about the financial report that you have to give during the general membership meeting. That's your basic. You can get that information off your P&L. And the reason why that says that it's done at the second meeting of the month is because the lodge office has until the 10th to get their profit and losses finished. And so usually that may not be till later on in the month. They've got those 10 days. In some meetings, the first meeting may be the very first day of the month. It doesn't have to happen that way. If you're one of those lodges, instead of meeting the first and third weeks of the month, you meet the second and the fourth. That's fine if you think that usually by the by the first meeting, which is the second week of the month, if you can get it done and have it done and reported then, that's perfectly fine. Just be consistent. So it's always going to be that time, or it's always going to be in the second meeting, just so we keep the consistency going. The other problem we're having too is some officers are thinking that they're having trouble with what time to have the officers meeting, when to have the general membership meeting, and there are things that should be decided on. And you have to remember that when you bring something up at a general membership meeting, a member does, the lodge membership doesn't vote on that then and there. The officers take it under consideration and take it to the next meeting, then bring it back. So sometimes when people are asking to do things that are literally 5 or 6 days away that can't be handled in time, I would suggest maybe the officers consider changing when their lodge officer meeting is. Maybe you should have a general membership meeting first and then have the officers meeting afterwards. That way you could handle those type of situations. Again, it doesn't have to be that way. Your lodge officer meeting can be moved around. That has to be voted on by the lodge officers, of course. But that's not set in stone. What is set in stone is your lodge membership meeting. The general membership meeting is a set time. That time is on record at Moose International when it's supposed to be. The only way that can change is by having someone in the board of officers making a motion. It goes to a general membership meeting, and the general membership votes on moving those times. If that all takes place, that's perfectly fine. Then you can move it. But you need to let myself and Moose International, the General Governor's Office, know when your lodge membership meeting is. Also, we went over this before, but lodges still aren't doing a very good job of it. We need to let our members know when our general membership meeting is. Some lodges are doing it very well. They've got it on the calendar in the social quarters. They've got it in their newsletter. Maybe it's on their social media. And I see it multiple places. I'm going to some lodges and I'm not seeing it anywhere. Or maybe I'm seeing it on the one informational board that's in the hallway somewhere or in the corner of the social quarters and it says lodge meeting. The membership needs to know that that's a general membership meeting. And I would change those on your boards where it says lodge meeting. Go ahead and say lodge general membership meeting. Let them understand that it's for anybody to go to. And that, of course, does include women now. I'm going to be checking more on that, and I'm going to be harping on that more if it's not being done. We have too many complaints going to Moose International. They're not even going through me. That something's not being done at the lodge. And then the first thing someone up at Moose International asks is, have you been to a general membership meeting to file a complaint, or have you talked to the Board of Officers? No. Well, I don't even know when that is. Well, I'm not going to say that it isn't partially that member's fault, but lodges aren't doing a very good job of letting people know. And we quite often have people say, well, in my lodge, it's not advertised anywhere. I've never been told. And sometimes when they say that, they're telling the truth, because we go to a lodge and then it's not listed or posted anywhere. So let's work on that too. Also, with the agendas and those meeting minutes, again, it's like those old minutes that came out years ago from Moose International, and like we caught lodges using them as their actual minutes. They were filling the paperwork out and then saving it. Those white pieces of paper are not the minutes to be used and written on. They're a guideline. On those old minutes that we had years ago, the very first page, and that's the page that disappeared, that very first page says this paperwork, these are not official minutes. They are just a guideline. Same thing with what came out this last couple of weeks for both meetings. Those are just your guidelines. You can fill those out and use them, but when it's said and done, the minutes have to be written in the minutes book on the line paper that's a numbered page. Now, we have lots of people saying, well, my handwriting's crap and this and that. That's perfectly fine. You can take your own minutes, then go back and rewrite those in the book and write them properly. But again, it's detailed. You need to say who made a motion, what was voted on, if somebody didn't vote on it or it was a split vote, the number of in favor, the number against. It has to be detailed information. We can't just skip it. Then you take that information, you can write it in the book later. Or you can type it out on a computer. You can put in the size of that paper and it prints up. I've got several lodges that do that, and it's all printed up and it's nice and neat. Then you can remember at the end of that meeting, the new president and administrator shouldn't be signing those minutes at the end of a meeting. Those minutes get saved. They go back to the next meeting. At the next meeting, when you do the reading of previous minutes, that's when you go back over and then those minutes from the previous meeting, and you ask anybody on the board, did we miss anything? Should there be any additions or subtractions? Then when the board or in the general membership, once they voted on the previous minutes being correct, that's when the administrator and president sign those. They don't sign them immediately at the end of the meeting. So we need to make sure we're doing that correctly also. Social quarters hours. Okay. Yes, the Board of Officers used to be the House Committee members used to set the schedule for social quarters hours. That's still true. Now, those can't just change willy-nilly, and change back and forth and keep changing often. The Moose International General Governor's Office gave a dispensation early on when COVID happened to allow you to cut days, allow you to cut hours without notice. You've got to give your membership notice if you change something. Two things, consistency is important. You cannot say the lodge normally opens at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we're going to start opening at 2. We'll see how business goes. And then do it for 1 week. 2 to 4 were crappy, you didn't have any business, and then the next week decide to go ahead and close it back up and go back to 4. Too many lodges are doing that type of situation, not advertising at all, so nobody knew. If nobody knows, you're not going to have a good 2 to 4 o'clock. Same thing with days. We've had lodges opening up days, giving it a try as they're getting back to normal. It being a crappy day, only giving it one chance and then closing it back down. You can't keep opening and closing them and whatnot. The membership does not know when the lodge is open at that point, and most of them will not complain. They just will not come back. We have too many lodges that give the bartender the right to close early on a weeknight, and sometimes it's as soon as they can. It's after the 8 o'clock drawing. They didn't even give it a chance to be open later than that. And then you've got people rolling up, well, the lodge used to be open until 10 o'clock. Here I am at 8:30, the lodge is closed. They may not say anything. They may do it once or twice, and then they may not come back. Consistency is very important when it comes to days and hours of the social quarters being open. We also suggest advertise like heck when you open up a new day or new hours. Let everybody know. Again, we've got billboards outside. We've got billboards in the office. We've got or in the social quarters. We've got social media. We've got flyers we can put up. And I wouldn't suggest ever deciding today's Monday, we're closed on Wednesdays, we're going to start opening up on Wednesdays, and be open this coming Wednesday without letting anybody know. Start it at the 1st of next month and give yourself like 2 weeks to advertise it to everybody. Let people know what's happening. Last but not least, and I promise I'll keep this short because we're already at 14 minutes, it is lodge survey time. Now, this is not the safety inspection form that you guys are filling out. That's on you guys to do. And again, once LCL Web is open back up, you guys will be able to finish those for the lodges that haven't done it. You have till May 30th. The lodge survey is the one that I do every year when I come around, and we need to see insurance, and we look at pricing. We make sure the lodge has sales tax done, all those type of situations. The survey is now completed for this year. It's ready anyways. And if anybody wants to step up and be the first and get it out of the way, let me know. I will schedule that. Our goal is to have them done by June 30th before our national convention. We'll see if we can get that done. it might be kind of close. I will try to be as accommodating as possible for those lodges. Most lodges, I know that when's a good time to be there, when when the administrator is there, those kind of things, and make it as easy as possible. I will not come without notice. I will at least give you a few days, because I will send out a list again, an email showing what information I need in advance that makes it easier. I mean, we already know I'm going to need a few liquor and beer orders. I'm going to need to see the actual policies for your insurance, not just the last bill that was paid. Same thing with state taxes and all that good stuff. So we'll be going through all your licenses and permits. I think that's everything I have. We still know that the LCL web is still down right now. Hopefully it'll be open this week. I got an email on Friday that actually sent out some stats. They sent out the combined numbers of men and women now for the new one Moose. I'm not sending those out just yet. I'm going to wait to see Monday morning. Again, I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon. We'll see if they send out the proper weekly stats. Some of that information I get from two different places. I have to go and get some. I get the reports sent to me. Some I have to go into the database at Moose International and get those out. That's why when the final numbers came out last week that I sent out, didn't have the application information, because that's part of the LCL web part of the servers at Moose International. I couldn't get into it, so all I had were the final numbers. If I don't get something from Moose International, I'll probably send out at least what stats they gave me for information. And again, all the lodges that had 80% and +1, that was fantastic. We had a good turnout across the state, actually. So that was pretty good. Again, thank you very much. I know it's a hectic time still. We're gonna get through this. Hopefully, LCL Web will be open soon, and I'm gonna go. It is Sunday, and I'm gonna go see my mama. You guys have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.